First of all, thank you all for having me. Really glad to be here. And I'm hoping that everybody can go and download the film. It's available on Amazon, on iTunes, and we'll provide a little bit more about that. But the film essentially follows Diana Agron, who is the wife of a CIA agent. And her husband was on a mission. Some things end up transpiring. And she goes out and tries to figure out what happens to him. And it's a case of, dealing with the CIA, and there's things that are happening undercover that she has to figure out. And it's about that journey for her. And really exciting. We actually shot that film in 11 different countries. And we did it for a small amount of money. And we did it in 11 different countries.
11 countries. What was the best location? If you had to say the most serene?
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong was good.
Yeah.
I imagine, yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Creative Mornings. We're so
Thank
excited
you.
to have you here. We are going to take some time this morning to do an interview format, kind of get some understanding of what your process has been like as you've moved from the dream, the surreal, to this reality of what you're doing here today. So as we talked about before, as Steve mentioned, Tim is you run the organization Night Fox Entertainment. You're a producer in a lot of different locations, but you're primarily based out of Omaha. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you
right
work
here in Omaha.
remotely as well? Where else do you work?
Yeah, so we have our headquarters here, and we also have an office in Los Angeles. But I'm based here, so I spend 50% of my time here, 50% in LA. But I'm very grounded to being, right here in Omaha.
We love hearing that. We love it. So what about Omaha, if I can ask? What about Omaha makes you so connected still? Because I'm sure there's a pull to be on either coast of different locations that you're visiting and working at around the world. But what makes Omaha so special to you and so important to stay connected?
Well, number one, born and raised here. I'm grounded. My family are all still here. Mother, father, family. And so I like being here, right? I think Omaha has a lot to offer. And I think we have a city that you don't have to take your talents to New York, to LA, to Chicago. Right. You can do things right here. And that's one of the things that I wanted to do in terms of film, is I wanted to show that, you can do really exciting things and you can do them from right here in Omaha. So it means a lot to me to be able to do that.
What's incredible. We like hearing that, don't we? That homegrown and still here. Yeah. Well, I had the privilege of sitting down with you last week, and it was a real honor to hear you talk about your story and your process in going from what we said before, that dream, that it's surreal now, it's not quite there, but you've walked through this process over the years, and now you're extremely successful. You're you're traveling. You told me all these different locations and film festivals you're heading to. You're doing really, really well, and you're still connected. And I think for me, what stands out, even hearing all the accolades and achievements, was to leave that conversation feeling so inspired, but also not feeling like I left, talking to somebody that's better than me. Like I felt like I just left a conversation with my boy, except my boy who's killing it all around the world, doing really well. I want to say thank you for being a part of this community and investing back into it.
Absolutely.
You talked about wanting to help us today. Give it a picture of what it is to walk through that process of walking into your dream. Can you share a little bit of what you told me when we talked last week?
And we talked about so much, so I'll try to, do what I can. But I think in terms of the dream, right, the biggest thing that I find is you have to, number one, have a dream, right? Most people are happy to sort of be in a box, and they're not really looking to think outside of that, right? And so they start off and they have no real dream of what they want to do. So I tell people the first thing you do, pick what you want to do, right? You just pick what you want, whatever you want to do, literally you can just pick it and go after it. And then once you pick what you want to do, then you can go and figure out how then do I, step by step, figure out what I want to do. And that, I think, comes through having mentorships and comes through, the right resources and so forth. And those things you acquire on the way. But I think the first thing, you pick it, and then you go out and you figure out how to get it done. And that's what I did. I mean, I didn't have a roadmap. There wasn't a blueprint for me, especially being here in Omaha. I couldn't really look to a huge amount of people to say, how do I do this? I kind of had to figure it out. I think for me, though, I knew from, the time I was in high school, sort of the road I wanted to take. And so it wasn't that tough for whatever, I just knew what I wanted to do. And that made it a lot easier to go out there and just say, I'm going to figure out what I need to do. So.
You say easier to do it. And I think a lot of us are sitting here, well, it feels not so easy to go from, I want to do this, I want to accomplish this dream, and then the steps to get there. I really loved hearing a little bit about your your high school to college experience. Can you share a little bit of that formative time when you went from I really want to do this to I'm gonna do this?
So I went to Creighton Prep for high school. There you go. Went to Creighton Prep for high school, and you know, I graduated in 1999. But when I was, I would say, a sophomore in high school, I knew I wanted to get involved in entertainment, right? I just knew I wanted to do that. So as I got older and I figured out, okay, I need to look at going to college. I made a decision to go to college in a place that was close to other kind of, let's call them entertainment centers, right? So I picked Penn State University, and I did that because I knew it was close to New York, right? New Jersey, it was close to, somewhat close to Virginia.
Not a bad school either.
And not a bad school, right? You know, so I did that, and I knew that if I went there, I would at least have the ability, or the opportunity, I should say, to be around people who could maybe connect me into different industries, right? Entertainment. And it was fortunate. I mean, I went there and you know, I actually had my roommate, right, in college, was the brother of a very successful actress. And so that helped out, right?
Did you work that situation, or was that just...
No, we're friends. I mean, I never worked, because that, you know, that's my boy, so I didn't use it like that. But it just put me in the right circles.
Space, yeah.
And that's important. And so I think that, you know, making that conscious decision, even as a younger person, about this is what I need to do, that helped a long way. Right. And then in college, I sort of took that, and we talked about, I started interning when I was in college for a record label and a music producer by the name of Teddy Riley. And Teddy Riley is one of the most legendary music producers in the business, and he produced Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson and Guy and Blackstreet and on and on and on.
Can I ask, how did you secure that relationship? Because that's a big deal, to have the right network, the right relationships. Like we do here, we try to do that, but sometimes it's a little unnerving. We're not sure how to make that connection. What did you do in that specific situation?
One of my mentors in high school actually was Teddy Riley's attorney. And so I asked him, I said, you know, and this is probably when I was like 16, I graduated 17, so when I was 16, I said, I'd like to, you know, I'd like to work for, or get an internship with Teddy. And at this time, I mean, he was killing, he was doing amazing in the business. And it wasn't that hard. I mean, it was extremely hard to work for him. Right. And he told me, he said, you know what, I'll give you a chance. And so I took a chance, and it started in the summertime when I was in college, and I would go to Virginia Beach, which was his satellite office, and I would work there in the summertime, and I would learn the business, and I literally started off as an intern. The first job he gave me was, he had a room in the studio, and it had all of his like platinum plaques and all his tour wardrobe stuff, and he's like, straighten this room up. And I was like, what do you mean straighten it up? He's just straighten it up. And that was my first job, to straighten up this room and like hang plaques, and you know what I mean, like the platinum plaques he got, and wardrobe and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why am I doing this? But then when I thought about it, I'm like, this is the process, right? This is the kind of humbling yourself, right? Doing whatever it takes, and being willing to, I mean, I was happy to do it. So you have to also have that, I think, mindset. A lot of people would say, I'm not fixing his, you know, hanging his clothes.
That's below me.
It's below me. Yeah. Why am I doing that? So I was happy to do it, man. And then it took that to a job. So.
That's really great. And I think a lot of us can relate to that, having mentors who really do resource you and are helping you to find those steps as you progress. Are there other pivotal relationships or mentorships or other, you know, connections you made along the way that have made it more possible for you to move into that dream and make it a reality?
Well, I had we talked about my college professor. I had a sociology professor when I was in college, and I actually left college after my third year, right? So the significance of that is, it was totally against what my family wanted me to do, right? So I was completely like the black sheep when I did that. Dad was an attorney, sister's an attorney, you know, brother graduated with a degree in mathematics and economics, and then here's the younger brother saying that he's gonna go out and produce movies. Like, you gotta be crazy. So my third year in school, I talked to my sociology professor, and I had a good relationship with her, right? And I asked her, had a meeting with her, and I asked her, I said, I'm really feeling that I should leave school, and I need to go take a full-time job, with Teddy Riley. And I said, what do you think? Is that a good move? Am I gonna regret that? And just talk to me. Let me know what your real feelings are. And she told me, she said, I'm not promoting that you leave school, but I am saying that if you know what you want to do and you have a path to do it, she said you can always come back, right? So I'm not telling anybody not to go to school. I'm just saying for me, that path helped. And so I took her advice and I left, and it's worked out, but that was a really pivotal moment for me. Right. And her and I still are in contact even to this day, and she's been kind of a great resource, but it was so helpful to me. And it's just been a lot to me to have that advice, and then once I got it, then I had to go out and I had to be brave enough to do it.
You had to walk it out.
And that was the hard part.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, knowing the audience here and how wonderful they are and how, as creatives, we're required to pioneer on a regular basis. That's what we do with creativity. You being a pioneer and taking those steps, do you have advice for anyone who maybe is at a pivotal position right now and they're trying to make a decision, do I go all in or do I play it safe? Or what would you say?
I would say in any, whether it's business, whether it's career, if you're gonna go all in, right, you gotta be willing to deal with the ups and downs. And so I tell people, when I mentor kids, when I'm talking to people, I'm like, if you're trying to get into any business or any industry, and you're looking for kind of a quick, hit and miss, right? If you can't take the ups and downs, then don't even start. It's far too hard on you as a person. It's hard on the people around you. And my wife, she'll tell you, it's hard on the people around you. If you can't deal with the ups and downs and look at things as kind of the glass is always half full, don't start. Right? It's not worth it. And you're not cut out to do it, right? There's other things you can do. And it's a very unique kind of person who can jump all into anything, whether you want to be an actor, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, right? Whether you want to be a teacher, it doesn't matter what it is. Whatever you do, if you're going to go all in, you have to have the right mindset to be able to do that. And that I think is the most critical part, having the right mindset.
That's good to hear. Yeah. And I think we benefit from seeing your example in pioneering. We benefit from the story a little bit. I also would love to touch on, for a moment, how you've dealt with failures along the way. Because we know that's a part of the process. We know the platitude of you got to fail to succeed. But tell us about how you've done it so we know that we are also like you, and we have hope in that regard.
Yeah. Well, there are going to be a lot of failures. There's going to be a lot, right? You're going to mess up. I think what you want to look at is you want to know what your purpose is. And I think when you know what your purpose is, then you can deal with, again, those ups and downs, right? So if I'm doing something, I don't really know why I'm doing it, it makes it extremely hard for me to hang in there, right, to roll with the punches. But if I know why I'm doing it, then I know that even though it looks hard, even though the road, it might look dim, I know I'm gonna get to where I wanna be. I just know that, like I don't have to worry about that. And so it's hanging in there and understanding that failure, like you're talking about, it is a part of the process and it will happen. And I think when you fail, I really don't look at failure as a negative thing anymore. Because when you fail, you give yourself a chance to learn, you give yourself a chance to reevaluate, to figure out, okay, this is what I need to do differently, right? And then you can adjust. You always gotta be able to pivot. Like you don't ever just go forward and not be able to pivot. You have to be able to pivot and move, and if you can do that, then you can deal with failure like that. I mean, that makes it lightens the blow to be able to do that. So that's what I would say.
It helps us all to take a deep breath and say, okay, I'm all right.
Yeah, because I mean, it's gonna happen. You can't get away from things going wrong. I mean, on a movie, anybody who knows anything about movie production or music production, everything goes wrong all the time, right? It doesn't matter how much you plan, doesn't matter how much prep you do, it's not gonna work out the way you drew it up, right? It just doesn't work out that way. So when you know that going into it, and you know, but at least I know I'm gonna like the final product or the final version, then you deal with that. And you say, okay, we'll adjust.
Yeah, I like that. Could you tell us a little bit more about your role? Because I think we here at Producer, we know it's very vital, it's critical in the process of these wonderful films we see, the one we just had a chance to take a peek at. But tell us about the creative component of that and other dynamics involved with your responsibilities as producer.
So kind of in a nutshell, the producer is really in charge of the overall production process, right? So all of the, call it logistical and the financial elements of making a film work, the producer is in charge of that. So everything from hiring the director, being involved in hiring crew, right down the line to making sure the movie is financed, and then once it's financed and produced, to making sure the movie is then sold and distributed and so forth. I like to compare it to a director to a certain extent, because a director is really responsible for the creative vision of the film. So if the film doesn't look right, it's generally the director's fault, right? Or it's the director's success.
Right.
The producer sort of, I think, shepherds that entire process to make sure that there's a balance of creativity mixed with business and the ability to be structured from that standpoint.
Well, how do you accomplish that? Because I think for me, I hear that, and I think about all the big personalities, the creativity that's happening. It's be easy to get overwhelmed, I would imagine. What do you do to manage the creativity and ensure that it's successful moving forward?
It's all about your team. So if anybody knows any, it's about your team. Who are the team of people who are with you, right? Make sure you have a director that you trust. I think is very important. Make sure you have other key crew that you trust. If you have those things, I think that makes your job easier, right? So we're getting ready to shoot a film in 6 weeks. We're shooting in LA, and it's a mystery horror film. And we've got an excellent director. We've got an excellent director of photography, and so we have really great line producer, right? We have really good people who are going to make the film work. So it doesn't really fall all on me, right? I have a good team. I surround myself with the best people, and I can more or less oversee and provide creative input when I need to. But I don't get in people's way. I don't micromanage people. I don't come to set and try to tell the director of photography how to set up a shot. I just don't do that. It's not my job. I do what I do, and I trust other people are going to do what they do, and then collectively, I think we'll come out with a good product. So I think that's how you manage the personalities.
See, when you say it like that, I feel like I should be doing it. It sounds so simple when you're talking about, or so clear. Maybe I should do it. What do you think?
Yeah, but here's the thing. But most stuff is simple. We make it hard. Like, we make it complicated, right? We add all the things to it that make it difficult. Right? But that's us doing that. That's not how it really is. And a lot of times you take a step back and you look at things, I think, from the perspective of taking a step back, and you realize a lot of what I thought was really difficult is not that hard, right? I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not as hard as we make it out, we make it out to be.
I like hearing that. I admire your discipline in the process too. That's something I walked away really taking some note on, is that you plan for success. I think it's really important. I want to do something a little bit. We want to know a lot about you. So I want to take a moment. Can we do a really rapid fire question thing? Like, just get a lot of information from you. We're paying really high prices for this, so we should get some. Okay? So I'm going to give you 10 questions.
Oh, boy.
And you got to answer them.
I didn't have any previous knowledge of these questions, so I'm a little bit concerned.
You're in the entertainment business now, so. I got 10 questions.
Can I pass?
Nope. No. Can he pass? No.
Can I throw it to the audience for like a,
You can, maybe. Let's try this out. 10 seconds to answer each of these. You ready? All right, number one. I don't care if you're ready. Number one.
He's your teacher, right?
My class is here today. Say hi to my class, everybody. My class is here. Say hi to them.
Welcome. You guys are used to this guy. Okay.
All right, first question. You're trying to get out of it. First question. What would your superpower be if you had one? We need to know this. This is important.
Man, I probably want to fly, right? Then I could save money on drones. I would shoot my own shots, so I'd probably fly.
Always thinking business. That's good. That's good. Okay. Who is the coolest entertainer you've encountered so far? Someone you say we would enjoy talking to.
Will Smith.
Okay. I like hearing that. Actually, I really like hearing that.
Cool, just down to earth, humble.
Really?
Cool. Like, he makes you feel like that's your boy.
Oh, see, I just need to be there. Help me, because,
cool.
But I would mess it up. Here's what I would mess it up, and I would just want to sing the intro song to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Or that one too,
I was in the summertime, but I'm not going to do that.
I would mess up and say, get jiggy with it. Something stupid. All right, next question. What was the worst job you've ever had? You kind of maybe touched on this, but I don't think cleaning
I really didn't have a whole, I always was kind of working for myself. I worked at a car wash.
Okay.
Worked at a car wash.
We'll take that.
It was just, I was young, so.
Yeah. What did you not like about it?
I was working at a car wash.
Yeah, you're Enough said.
I don't know.
All right, next one. Who or what inspires you most?
family, you know, wanting to make family proud and wanting them to feel good about the work I do and encourage them.
Let's give a hand for that. I like that response. That's good. Very good. In my notes it says Herbie Thompson. I don't know why. I don't know why that.
That's like 9, right? Got one more?
Okay, next question. Favorite family memory? Building off of that. Favorite family memory?
Christmas time. Oh, I mean, every Christmas we have like the best Christmases, and my mother, she's a huge Christmas fan. So like everything is Christmas. Like, you know what I mean? Christmas starts like in August.
Okay.
And
Hard to argue.
It goes through like end of January.
Oh, it does?
You know?
Okay,
So,
good.
So yeah, Christmas.
Can you remember your favorite gift as a kid? The gift
Yeah, when I was a kid,
yeah.
I'll be honest with you, there was oh my God, superheroes called nope, not He-Man, nope. No, you guys know it. When you say it, I'll know it.
Ninja Turtles.
No,
What time frame are we
we
talking
got to come
here?
back, like in the 80s. The 80s.
80s.
No way, not Power Rangers.
He said no way.
You guys know it. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. I'm not even sure what Teen Titans is. No, I wouldn't.
What did they do? What did these, maybe G.I. Joe? Did they do something, or was it? It couldn't have been that
I have to
memorable.
call my mom and ask her because I gotta give you guys this answer.
Maybe
I just
do
can't.
that. Could your wife just
Yeah,
call her
call
up? I'm just kidding. I'm just
Call
playing.
her. No,
We'll
don't
come
call
back
her,
to
but
it.
we'll come back to that. I just can't think of it. And anyway, I woke up and I had like, now I was little, so maybe I didn't have 50 of them. But it felt like I had 50 of them.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like lined
Everywhere.
up. And it was so cool. So
That is cool.
even today, no matter what I get, I'm like, that was the dopest
You remember.
Christmas I ever had.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah.
How about this? What song, when you hear it, it makes you dance even though you don't want to dance? What song can make you dance even when you don't want to?
Man.
And can we cue up that song in a second?
You know, just about anything by Michael Jackson.
Right? You're kidding me.
Like Remember the Time, like, you know, you guys know Remember the Time? So Teddy Riley produced that. He produced that song.
That's a
so,
good
you know,
one.
So that's the level that he was producing.
No
And he
j-
did that when he was 26 years
Unreal.
old.
It's
So-
classic.
so, yeah.
My guess, honestly, not a joke. My guess was Smooth Criminal.
Smooth Criminal would be
Especially
cool.
the guitar solo. You can't not dance.
You know, like when he went all the way forward.
Oh, yeah, of course
I've
I
tried
know.
that many times and I never.
Yeah,
been
nobody
able to do
did. Nobody can.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get a couple more in here.
All right.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Probably long-winded people. You're not long-winded.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
I'm not talking about him, but in general. But I'm not talking about him, but no. You know what I mean, like long-winded people.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I hope I'm not being long-winded
Not
today.
at all.
So if I
Not at
am,
all.
just like throw something.
final one here. I guess I want to go with biggest fear. What is your biggest fear?
Well, biggest fear, not in terms of business, is water. I don't like oceans, and I don't do that. Like I like the beach though. I like to be on the beach, but I don't like water. It's weird.
It's big.
I can't really explain that. And my dad is from the Virgin Islands, St. Croix, and so every summer, literally, I would spend time in the islands every summer. But I don't like the water.
And you need to get over your fear in all that time. I mean, you could be at worse
But
places.
also, since I don't know how to swim, that probably has something to do with it.
That does. I'm guessing, yeah.
So I'm gonna take like adult swimming lessons. Seriously.
Okay. You and me
do
both.
that.
We'll be together. It'll be great.
So yeah, maybe we'll go with that.
I like that. I like that. It's been fun talking about you and what you've experienced in your process. And I know there's questions, so I want to leave some time for anyone that has questions. But can we close with just, you have walked out your dream. And I was shocked when you told me your age. To think that you've navigated so much in that period of time, I'm really inspired by it. I also want to hear from you, what is your next dream? What is the next surreal adventure for you that you're going to undertake, whether that's a 5-year or perhaps even longer out, 20-year dream that you have?
Wow. Well, first of all, like we're so early in on the process. Like I haven't even began to really hit on what I want to do. Right? We're early. Like we're 3 films in. We're shooting another film, like I said, in February. So we're early in on the process. I think going forward, it's about moving into different parts of the business, right? We're looking at right now, kind of like in the next 3 to 5 years, a distribution situation where we would essentially have the platform through a partner to distribute our own product. right? They would pay for the marketing of the film, and we would distribute our own product, which would be big and provide a huge platform.
Yeah.
So there's things like that. It's being able to hire more staff, right? Especially here in Omaha, being able to hire more folks to be a part of what we're doing, and then be able to provide, again, opportunity, which is my big thing. Provide opportunity to not only actors but also crew here in town, because it's, the thing you always hear about Omaha is like crew can work, but it's very, it's hit and miss. It's not all the time. It's not consistent a lot of times. And so being able to provide a consistent, a constant flow of projects that give them the ability to work. And then I think we all win like that, right? Like we all win that way. And then also I think figuring out a way to provide or get some incentives in Nebraska so that we can attract filmmakers outside of Nebraska to come in here and want to shoot film here. So all that's part of the kind of the long-term goal or vision, and some that we're already kind of moving on. And it's just a process. You do it. One of my mentors, actually from here, he says, progress is made 1 inch at a time. It might seem like you're not making progress, but you really are. Right. And if you just keep inching away, you look back and you realize, look how far I've come. And then I think, you maintain that attitude, you can always be successful.
Well, we love that. We love hearing that. And sort of you answered what I wanted to say as a closing question, but I want to return to it because I think we want to hear some direct advice even. And you sort of framed it by saying if you're pursuing your dream, what you need to do, the steps you need to take. And I like seeing a response to a post about today. There was a post about today and somebody had remarked on it about you and the journey you've navigated from the time where you were starry-eyed and dreaming about this, had ideas. I think the post said you had these ideas on a laptop, and now here you are today in the reality of it.
Don't start to worry. What happened when I went to Vietnam?
You came home.
Okay, and what happened when we went to Darfur?
You came home. I just hate it when you go.
I always come home.
Dozen high-ranking terrorists are planning one hell of a party. Exactly when and where, we do not know, but what we do know is that there is information out there, and I'm on saying you to go and get it.
Yes, sir.
This is a one-way ticket.
These are my orders, Peter.
This is a suicide mission.
Yes?
Kelly is in a coma.
Is the intelligence fully retrievable?
We would destroy our agent in the process.
That was the risk he was prepared to take when he accepted this assignment.
They're gonna have to kill me if they want to kill him. What was his mission?
It's classified.
Tess is looking for answers.
The wife has attempted to get intelligence?
I'm getting you out of here.
Don't get in our way.
You have intelligence that'll save millions of lives.
But I only care about one.
You have to accept the reality of the situation here.
Welcome to nano-terrorism.
No matter how old you are, many times people are not going to understand the dream that you have. Because they don't understand your dream, don't let that stop you from moving forward. And so that's the biggest advice, because most people aren't going to understand your dream. The rest of them aren't going to believe you're going to do it anyway. So don't get offended. No one's going to believe you. Just get that through your mind. Like, nobody really cares. They don't think you can do it. Oh yeah, you're going to be great. You're going to do it. They don't believe that. They don't believe that, right? But you tell them you want to be a doctor, which is extremely hard. They're, oh wow, you can do that. but you know what I mean? Like, right? So, and to me that's difficult. Like a doctor, an attorney, like that's hard. But you tell them you want to, do something abstract, and they don't know what the heck to say to that.
Yeah.
So push forward, even though people may not understand you. And that's the best advice I can give. And then I guess the second piece of that, and we talked about it a couple of times, get good mentors. I have phenomenal mentors in the business. one of my mentors, a guy named Ted Phil, you guys may not know him, but if you've ever heard of Interscope Records, if you've ever heard of, and he founded that company with Jimmy Iovine, one of the biggest record companies in the world. He's the founder of that company. He also produced movies like The Last Samurai, and Revenge of the Nerds, and Jumanji, and so major producer. But he's one of my main mentors in the film business. And so when I have that kind of person to bounce ideas off of and to help me, goes a long way.
That's great.
So get good mentors, get people who can help you in different facets, whatever you're doing, and listen to what they have to say. No point to have a mentor you don't listen to them, right? Because they know, they've been there, they've done that, they've walked the path you walked. And if you can, I think, avoid some of the pitfalls, because you can either learn through experience or I call it messing up, or you can listen to someone who's telling you, don't do that. You might be able to avoid a pitfall. And that's what I try to do. So I think that's how I would leave in terms of advice.
That's great advice. Can we give a hand to Timothy Christian?